Gracious God, we thank you for this opportunity to celebrate great success at Hastings College. Great success in athletics, great success in the classrooms, and wonderful careers. We thank you for this opportunity to come together, to spend time together, to tell stories, to remember. And we thank you for the food we're going to eat tonight, and we pray that you bless it to our bodies. In God's name we pray. Amen.
Graduate and inducted for football in 1996. Coach Lynn Doc Farrell, a member of the first Athletic Hall of Fame class and inducted in 1989. Glenn Mays was inducted for men's basketball in 1990. Bill Gavers, a 1988 graduate and member of the 87-88 men's basketball team, which was inducted in 1997. He is also the current Hastings College men's basketball coach. Another side note on Billy Gavers, he was the Alumni Coach of the Year not too long ago, too. Mike Trader, a 1974 Hastings College graduate and member of the 73-74 men's basketball team, which was inducted in 1991, and coach of the 87-88 men's basketball team, which was inducted in 1997. And finally with us is Greg Sartorius, a 1981 graduate and assistant coach with Mike Trader on that 87-88 men's basketball team. Let's give them a round of applause. Along with Bill Gavers, we have another outstanding young man that is serving in the Hastings College athletic staff. So if Bill Gavers and Jake Hamburger would please stand. These two young men do an outstanding job with our student athletes, current members of our men's basketball program. Have started basketball practice within the last week and worked pretty hard. So we appreciate all the hard work and the countless sacrifices you make. So let's go Broncos. Somebody else I would like to introduce tonight is our faculty athletic representative, Dr. Jim Dugan. Please stand, Jim. He has served Hastings College for over 20 years in that capacity. And I can't tell you the number of times in my short time as the athletic director where he has bailed us out and given us lots of great guidance. So we appreciate all you do. We also have a few Board of Trustee members I'd like to recognize. Mr. Hal Dittmer, please stand. Dr. Jessica Leesky and her husband Todd Pancratz.
I wanted to be a coach. And I learned from him that you didn't have to have the most expensive equipment, you just had to have the best plan. And when I graduated from Hastings, and all my friends over there, the non-athletic for a moment, best years of my life, those two tables of people over there I'll love till the day I die. I wasn't planning on being a track coach. I just wanted to be a football coach. That was my deal. And when my plan took me elsewhere, I had to turn to another alumni. Now, Coach Sartorius, you might remember Chad Robertus from '91. I was on the phone with that guy when I found out I was going to be a jump coach constantly. And he's still at Bonanza. He probably deserves this award as much as anybody. And 67 jumpers later, he's been a big help with me. So he's not here tonight, but I share this award with him. I believe also Coach, I think he's student taught under Coach Cosgrove, I think, back in the day. So I want to thank him also. And also Coach Tim Turman at Newman. It's hard to turn a program over. If you think about, you've had success and to give your baby to someone else, that's a hard thing to do. So it's been a wonderful last couple years. I have a lot of talent. Obviously, you can't do it without having athletes who do the job for you. But it's been a rewarding experience, and I owe it to all the people that are here and all my connections with HC over the years. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Sam.
Okay, at this point then, we're going to switch over and start recognizing our individual athletes that are going to be inducted into our Athletic Hall of Fame, beginning with the name of Larry Van Boning. Now, Larry is not here tonight because he is waiting a hip replacement, and the drive from Rapid City to Hastings just was not feasible, and he was very, very discouraged by that. But I'll give a few comments about him after we give him his award in absentia. Larry was a 1958 Hastings College graduate. He was a member of the undefeated 1954 Bronco football team, a two-time All-Nebraska Collegiate Conference selection in 1956 and 1957. He received honorable mention, All-American honors in 1957, and was instrumental in the Broncos' four-year conference record of 25 wins and just 4 losses. Larry is the retired president and owner of the Public Employee Insurance Agency and lives in Rapid City, South Dakota with his wife, Lorene. Now, when I talked to Larry earlier this week, he said that word retirement is not accurate because even at age 85, 86, he has so many clients from over the years that insist on his guidance that he's still in the office virtually every day. President Jackson, I am pleased to present Larry Van Boning in absentia for induction into the Hastings College Athletic Hall of Fame.
Before I do this official language here, I just have to say that Larry and many members of the 54 team are frequent visitors for homecoming weekend, and I'm honored to have a 54 hat that Larry and many of the members of the team signed, and I'll be sure to pass it on to the next president because that one needs to stay at Hastings College. By the authority vested in me by the Hastings College Board of Trustees, I do hereby induct Larry Van Boning into the Hastings College Athletic Hall of Fame.
Okay, now these are comments that Larry wanted me to make. He is a genuine gentleman and speaks eloquently. I'll do my best to bring to life for you the things that he wanted me to share with you this evening. He recalls playing every game for 4 years and 3 postseason games for the Broncos. What we have to remember is that in those days, and I think our next honoree will echo this, our players often found themselves playing on both sides of the ball, both offense and defense. And Larry was a left tackle, so can you imagine 60 minutes of grinding football on both the offensive and defensive lines, and playing so that he never had to come out because of injury. He is particularly impressed with his memory of playing against Tom Osborne. Those of us who grew up around Hastings knows that the rivalry between Grand Island Senior High School and Hastings Senior High School for many years was pretty ferocious. I can remember my car getting egged after going up to Grand Island for a football game one night. As a fan, I didn't think that was very, very fun. But it reminds me of an incident that I think is interesting to all of us. There was a very hard-fought game at the high school level, and Tom Osborne, for whatever reason, was running down the sideline full speed and caught a pass. I don't know who would have thrown him the pass. He caught the ball, stumbled, and the official ruled that his knee touched the ground. Now, is that reminiscent of a play we saw today? Well, the fans of Hastings were just incensed, and the fans of Grand Island were just thrilled. And you know, what do you suppose T.O. did? He acknowledged, yeah, my knee touched the ground, and put the argument to rest before there was a riot of some kind. Larry was recruited to Hastings College by Coach Tom McLaughlin, a legend in his own right. And this is interesting. I asked Larry, well, what kind of scholarship did Tom give you? Because Tom was sort of famous about pulling a letter out of his back pocket and saying, well, here's some money for you. Just come play at Hastings College. He got tuition, fees, room and board, plus books, and $60 a semester for sweeping the gym at least twice. After graduation, he coached at Fort Morgan, where he got his master's degree. He loved to teach U.S. history. But another really interesting sidelight, in 1960, the Denver Broncos were a new established AFL football franchise. They were just getting off the ground, and the coach general manager contacted Larry and asked him to be among their initial players. They offered him $4,500 and a $50 signing bonus. Well, he held out. He asked for $250, and they agreed. But the part that really is realistic of those days, they didn't have the money to even pay the $250, let alone the $50. And when he realized that after several days in camp, he went back to teaching. His 1969 team at Fairview High School in Boulder was 14-1, losing only the final state championship game. I must tell you, he is very, very proud of his career in financial planning because he specialized in working with teachers and coaches. Great guy to visit with, and Don, you're so accurate. He's been back many times for homecoming, and it's just a perfect person to honor, and that's Larry Van Bowen. Our second honoree is Ron Devish. And Ron, would you please come forward? Ron's a 1963 Hastings College alum. Ron was a three-time All-NCC selection, and according to Coach Farrell, he believes he is the only Hastings College player ever to have that recognition. And in fact, there was an editorial by the sports editor of the Hastings Tribune that was incensed that the conference did not honor Ron his freshman year as all-conference because he was supposedly, and I believe this to be true, totally deserving. He played both offensive and defensive linemen on the football team. He blocked for fellow Hall of Fame inductees Jack Osborne, Jim Peterson, Ron Berry, and Eldon Keyboards. Ron's a retired plant manager for DuPont. He and his wife, Celinda Mounts Devish, a 1963 Hastings College alum as well, live in Hot Springs Village, Arkansas. President Jackson, I am pleased to present Ron Devish for induction into the Hastings College Athletic Hall of Fame.
By the authority vested in me by the Hastings College Board of Trustees, I do hereby induct Ron Devish into the Hastings College Athletic Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Ron.
Well, I'm going to be within the 3-minute time limit for sure. First of all, as I already mentioned, my wife Celinda is also a graduate. We're in the same class, and we're both very proud to be Hastings College graduates. It has meant a lot to us throughout the years. I'd like to also congratulate the inductees this year and express how honored I am to be included in that class. I'm proud and very honored to be in the Athletic Hall of Fame. I'd like to thank the many Devishes and visitors that came to this event tonight. I have two great friends from Arkansas that drove all the way up here, Vaughn and Jim Woods, and I really appreciate your being here tonight. And thanks also to my sister, Dr. Bonnie Hercock, and her husband, Dr. Charles Hercock, for being here. I need to tell you that Charlie is a Kearney graduate, and I hope you won't throw eggs at him or anything. He played on 3 football teams that beat us, and he never lets me forget that, I might add. But he's a good guy in spite of that. We did let him into the family, so don't take anything out on him. And finally, I'd like to thank my wife Celinda for her constant support throughout the years. The campus really looks fantastic, and this has really, really been a fun day. And I just want to thank you, Hastings College, for all you've done for us.
Thank you. This puts a little proof to what I've told a lot of my friends, that the older I get, the better I used to be. And took 50 years to get this good, I guess. So, but thank you very much. Some of the people that I want to thank, I was away, I was 17, and I was away playing in a junior golf tournament. I get very emotional, I'm sorry. Tom Jorgensen came to Beatrice and talked to my mother and said he'd give me a scholarship, but he couldn't give me a full ride, and so my mother made arrangements to move to Hastings so I could live at home and go to college. So I want to thank those two, and that was the reason I was here my freshman and sophomore years. And at that time, I talked to the North Texas State coach, golf coach, and he said that if I came down and beat somebody out, I could have their scholarship. So I was not going to come back to Hastings College. I was going to work for a semester and try to go down there. And then Dr. Farrell got involved. And as he talked many people into doing things, he talked me into staying. And Dean Pryor came in as the coach. As you all know, Tom McLaughlin passed away in that summer of a heart attack. And Dean Pryor and Bill Parcells came in. And Dr. Farrell talked me into staying. And so the people I really need to thank is my mother, Tom Jorgensen, Dr. Farrell. And in golf, I probably thank Bob Murphy. We played together about 4 years. I was a lot tougher than this on the football field. I really can't help it, and it shows you how thankful I am, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Introduce my wife, Becky. If they had a Hall of Fame for wives, mothers, and grandmothers, and 15-year cancer survivors, Becky would be in that Hall of Fame. And I wanted to say thank you to congratulations to the other nominees or the other people elected to the Hall of Fame. Jerry, it's cool to be inducted with you, because I remember when Jerry Fisher was playing football, and I remember some of those amazing long passes that he had sometimes. I was talking to him today, to Sam Nine, and it was so fun to watch him play and to see some of those amazing long passes. So I'm sure I was at that game when you got your 400 yards. That was awesome. We had a chance today to go visit the display of the Hall of Fame at the wonderful arena that Hastings College has now. It was fun to see some friends in there. Ed Lorenzen, good friend. Benny Crawford, not necessarily a friend, but somebody I really admired and watched playing basketball at Hastings. So it's really an honor to be part of that. And thank you, Doc Farrell and Mike, for taking the time to go back and to scratch through all the records and find out who the old geezers were that did some good stuff way back when. So thank you for that. It's really neat to be recognized this way. When I was in high school, I played tennis, and I won a letter all my years in high school, each year in high school in tennis. And actually, I played a little bit of basketball, 2 minutes and 37 seconds of basketball I played in high school. And you get a letter, but you didn't get a jacket. And I was amazed when I came to Hastings College, and my first year I finished my tennis season, I got a letter jacket. And the college gave me this letter jacket. It was a beautiful red jacket with a white H, and I loved that jacket. And then after we won the conference in 1965, I got a white jacket, and I drove Doc Farrell crazy that fall, waiting for that white jacket. And I don't know if you remember this, but I was calling him almost every day in the fall saying, "Are the jackets in yet? Are the jackets in yet? Are the jackets in yet?" In fact, he got to the point of calling his wife at home sometimes, saying, "Are the jackets here yet?" So those jackets were priceless to me. I kept them all these 50 years, all mothballed away, and was able to wear the white one today at the football game. So that was really, really cool. It was fun to be part of the 65 tennis team that also is being honored here tonight. And Doc Farrell was kind enough to let me be the coach of that team that year. So that was a lot of fun. Doug Usher is going to talk a little bit about that team, but he told me that I could tell you about our trip to Graceland College. We played in the Graceland Invitational. Terry's laughing already over here. We played in the Graceland Invitational tennis tournament that year. And since I was the coach, I got to drive the vehicle that the team was in. And the vehicle was not a Hastings College van, but it was Terry Peterson's Tornado. Is it a Tornado? Is that what we call it? It's front-wheel drive Tornado convertible. And so the whole team smashed into this thing, crashed, and we drove off to Graceland College, and we arrived with our arms on the windows, out the windows, and drove around the college so everybody could see how cool the Hastings College tennis team was. We didn't do well at all. But we were the coolest team there, and we like that. Thank you very much. I'm really proud to see what Hastings is doing with tennis and with all the other sports, and really commend them for what they're doing and the facilities that they've been developing. It's really neat to be part of that and to see that. So thank you again for this honor.
I'm 70 years old. It's really an honor when I'm sitting next to two also inducted Hall of Famers in Glenn Mays and Benny Congrove. I'd also like to mention another Hall of Famer that has passed away, George Watson, and also a member of the staff here, coaching staff, and he was a recruiter in Colorado, Jerry Bean. I don't know if you're familiar with these people, but outstanding, every one of them, including certainly the two people I'm sitting with. Don, thank you for your time. We spent most of the first half, he was trying to watch the football game, but I had 1,000 questions to ask him. I haven't been back to Hastings, but twice in the last 46 years. I've flown over many times, but never actually stopped. So this is really an honor for me, but I'm really kind of blown away by just where Hastings has come since 1970 when I graduated. I think I referred, Don, if I'm not mistaken, to Hastings University a couple of times. Literally, I just can't believe the facilities. Although I did drive around the block trying to look for the old football stadium, couldn't find it. I did, literally. And I also checked out the new track, which you could hold an Olympic, track meet there. Your facilities are unbelievable, the new buildings and things like this. I'm totally impressed. I'm kind of a sentimental sort, so stuff like this really gets to me. Real quick, and I'll get out of here. Once graduating, I taught 3 years down in Kansas at the high school level, then went to Western Kentucky and got my master's degree working with Jerry Bean. He moved from here to the head track coach down at Western Kentucky University. Taught and coached and counseled on the high school and college level for a number of years, and got out of it and went into sales and management. I think I always missed the teaching part of it. To this day, at 70 years old, to this day I'm still sub-teaching. I totally enjoy it. Again, I'll stop this. By the way, I was half a lifetime ago, I also am a cancer survivor. So, I might add that I've taken the time, again out of Montrose. I had a terrible trip coming in on Thursday. I drove in. Friday was at the golf tournament. Totally enjoyed that. That kind of neutralized, in fact, more so my trip. Today was unbelievable. I have taken time, though, to drive around the city of Hastings. And I want to tell you that you have such a beautiful committee. At 20 years old, when I arrived here, we tend not to appreciate things the way we should. I drove around Hastings, like I say, for a couple hours, and totally impressed by your community. And the reason I mention that is I didn't come here as a traditional student. I was a transfer from Iowa State University. I was married and had a child. And the way that the student body, the faculty, the coaches, and city individuals, and I won't take the time to mention those, how much support I received from those people, and that I will never forget. What a great community you have here. Thank you very much for this honor. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Probably, the chemistry of the team is what really made me succeed as a runner. I would say I wouldn't trade anything, except for I did trade 2 knees for those 4 years, but I would not have changed a thing. My family, thank you for coming, always very, very supportive. I couldn't have done what I did without the support of my family, and thank you.
On behalf of the team, 65 tennis team, I want to thank you for this honor. I have to say, it was very unexpected. For the first 20 years, I waited patiently, and then I decided it's never going to happen. But thank you, Roger, it finally did. 51 years later. And then I played, as they said, our tennis team won, our doubles team won the doubles in the conference championship. Chris won the singles, and I was runner-up in the singles. I played him in the final, and he actually beat me 6-1, 6-0. But I wanted to thank you for letting me win one game, Chris. I was fortunate that you were a religion major, and you understood the blessing of giving. We were reflecting today during the football game about how our experience is different from the experience of I'm sure, the tennis team today. But when our season started, I was told that Doc Farrell was our coach. So I went to see Doc Farrell, and he said, Doug, I know nothing about tennis. Chris Kirstein's your coach. I hand out tennis balls, and when you need money on a trip, I give you the money. That's it. So we provided, and it's true, we provided our own tennis rackets. We wore white t-shirts and white gym shorts that we bought, the shoes, and towards the end of the winter, we'd go out and shovel the snow off the tennis courts and then let them dry for a couple days, and then we started practice. And as Chris said earlier, if we had a match away, we hopped in. Fortunately, we had one guy on the team that had a great car, and we hopped in the car and just took off. And it was, my son played the Division I sport, and the intensity of it I noticed, and I thought, sometimes I reflected on that I thought my experience of playing tennis here was almost superior to that, because it was a lot of fun and a lot of camaraderie, and it was surprising, but we were very successful at it. Anyway, thank you very much for the honor.
Thanks, Doc Farrell, for recruiting me way back when. I can remember still when you first talked to me, you were a successful basketball coach, and you decided you wanted to get a good golf team, and you got 3 of us, kind of that were pretty good high school golfers, and then we got Bob and Jim the next couple of years, and we had a pretty good run, so good job, Doc. Like Jerry said, the older we get, the better we were. I don't remember us winning all that stuff, but I guess we did. Hey, here we are. A couple stories I remember about Doc is someone kind of hit on a little bit, but he was the athletic director and basketball coach, and we were just kind of the golf team, so he would kind of hand us the keys and say, hey, you guys are going to Fort Hays State, you're going to play this golf course, you're staying at the Super 6 or whatever the cheapest motel it was. And your tea time is this. Good luck, boys. And off we went. 5 college kids in a car, staying in a hotel overnight. We had no fun at all, did we? But we did bring back the trophy most of the time, didn't we? We did win a lot of tournaments, I do remember some of that. It was a great experience here at Hastings as well. One side note, Clay Mininger, one of our other 4 that was going to be here, Mark Prazak could not be here, he's in Denver, but I just got a text from Clay. He was going to come hang out with Bob and I yesterday at Laughlin and said he had a family emergency and couldn't make it. And I just got a text and that he had 4 stents put in his heart yesterday. It was him. I thought it was someone in his family, but it was actually him. He was texting me from the hospital. He had 99% and 85% blockage in 2 of his arteries. So this one's for Clay too. So he couldn't be here, but thanks everybody.
The 1991 Mile Relay Team, I would like to thank the Hall of Fame Committee for selecting us. This is a great honor, and we are very humbled to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I would also like to congratulate all the other nominees who were inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. It's a great group. I'm glad I was part of it. And personally, I would like to thank my parents who attended many track meets. Rain or shine, hot or cold, they were there. And my dad is also a cancer survivor, as long as we're throwing that out there. We would like to thank Coach Temperley, who's here tonight. He's in the back. Thank you, Coach. Actually, Coach Temperley and Mike Karloff recruited, I think, both of us. They were calling us, and that was great. They're the ones who got us started on our experience and memories at Hastings College. And then I'd also like to thank all my friends and family who are here tonight. It helps make it more memorable and just more special. And then finally, Coach Bart Gray, who shared some very kind words there that Mr. Dorr just read. And then I just want to say I really enjoy the homecoming weekend. I had a great time today on the fire truck, throwing candy at the kids. That was great. It's fun, and going to the barbecue and the football game. And once again, I thank you. This is a great honor.
And as usual, I have to fall right behind Thor. We even got a chance to break out the baton after the record. We wrote it down and everybody autographed. So this is kind of fun to be back again. And again, it's very humbling to be here with all these great, incredible athletes and everybody that we looked up to. And again, just want to thank Coach Farrell and Coach Trader for all their hard work. And my mom and dad, building the pole vault pit in the backyard, starting out on an old steel pole about like this, and then Coach Temperley, for recruiting us, and Coach Gray for helping us all stick together and finishing it out. And it was just a blessing. And again, for my wife, also alumni, Michelle Randall, Slingsby, and also like to thank the Thorsheims, because they pretty much did the same as Todd. They had to adopt me just to keep me going and everything while I was here running. And for Rich Olson, the farmer who put me to work and helped me to stay down here all summer and train and help financially support me to keep her going. So thanks a lot.
Spirit is all about. This is the foundation that you folks have laid for today's student athletes, and I wonder how many of you really understand how important athletics has become to the vitality of Hastings College, as well as its ability to survive. This year we have 620 student athletes competing at Hastings College. That represents 67% of the student body. We project next year, with an incoming class of approaching 220 freshman athletes and a projected 40 additional transfer athletes, that we will have well over 700 student athletes within the population of Hastings College. We have 1,108 full-time undergraduates this year, so you can do the math. It's going to be a large contingent, and that percentage is going to be above 70%. Why is that? It's a different world than what all of us enjoyed for so many years. Today we have club sports. We have young people in grade schools identifying a sport, committing to it, parents spending thousands of dollars in many cases to support that individual through soccer camps and soccer clubs and basketball and volleyball and football during the summer, etc. When you look at the role that a Hastings College plays now, we are still bringing in high-quality individuals, and those high-quality individuals relish the opportunity that we give to continue their passion for this sport of theirs. Now, with those kind of numbers you saw on the football field today, not all those kids got in, and there were a lot that didn't suit up. We have like 130 football players on the roster this year. But the challenge then is like anything in life. If there's a disappointment, Hastings College, being the kind of institution we are, with the academic support we are, our challenge then is to help those individuals adjust to that disappointment. It's no different than you go to a college with a major in mind, I'm going to be pre-med, and then you face that first chemistry test and you say, either there's the exit or I got to find a new major. These kind of adjustments are what make Hastings College such a great option for a young person. And I just hope and pray that when you go back to your communities and you talk to families, and you've noted what our facilities are, they're second to none. I think we have such a need, and I hope this message goes out. We've got to get the message out that this is an option. We're actually, after scholarships, we're no more expensive than the University of Nebraska. This is a bargain, and this is an environment where a young person will thrive and grow and have great professional growth and experiences thereafter. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thanks for the amazing contributions you folks have made. This is just beyond comprehension to have this quality of group assembled, don't you think? And I would ask the honorees and their families to approach the podium afterwards. We do need to take some photos. So, thank you for your continued support of Bronco Athletics. And I'm just going to close with something Bob Borger used to sort of remind us, and I'm going to paraphrase it just a little. It's always a great day to be a Bronco. Thank you.